In this video, we're going to look at cutting a hole in a tile, say for a closet flange or whatever they might be, a radiator pipe that's larger than a tile bit that you can buy to drill a hole. This is a hypothetical situation, so I am going to make a hole the size of this ring right here. And what we can do is just draw the ring. Now, in previous videos, what I did was I used the saw blade to actually etch out the Sharpie drawn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the angle grinder and I'm going to take the blade on a side and I'm just going to kind of move around and I'm going to make my circle so I don't lose that circle in dust or whatever. I just have an edge that I'm going to. So with the angle grinder, I now have this circle in place. I won't lose it. It's a good guide. And one of the things you might have noticed when I was cutting is I start a little farther in and move toward the outside of this black circle that I drew with the Sharpie. And you might notice that there's a little bit of Sharpie left over. I didn't get it exactly to that point. I'm not worried about that at the moment. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a number of straight cuts and basically create spokes or a pinwheel, not dissimilar to lines like that. And I'm going to keep going all the way around, and then I'm going to have little teeth that I just pop out. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is as I add more lines, the tile starts to crumble away and crack away. This cut that I made, this circle, not only preserves the circle, relative to the dust, but it also kind of gives, there's a weak point here where the tile will not chip away past. So I'm going to keep cutting this out, and we're going to notice these things all these tiles start flaking away. But I'm going to go around this one more time just to make sure we have enough depth so that we don't chip anything around the circle. So we have the majority of this out. You'll notice the more time I take with tiny little cuts and going around and round, the less likely I am to chip or damage this hole, this nice hole that I'm making. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this by kind of going in and around the edge, and I'm gonna shape it a little bit with the angle grinder, almost shaving it down. Here again, we run into the problem that this blade there's an angle to what I can do with this circular blade. If I had something, say like a jigsaw, I would start a hole and I could come around. For something like this though, it would really struggle to stay together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna cut a little bit out this way. And there we have pretty close to perfect round hole. And you can continue to work these down with the angle grinder over a period of time. It'll eventually get almost, I mean, it'll be pretty round. Perfect example of why we would do something like this is a closet flange. And to be honest with you, you can cut it slightly larger because the toilet is going to sit right on top of the hole. If you found this video helpful, let us know by clicking like and consider subscribing to our channel. Feel free to message us in the comments section with any constructive questions or suggestions.